Well, welcome to another tutorial video by the master, Mr. Williams himself. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a little look at some advanced techniques of layering percussion, and then we're going to build on that throughout the weeks, and we'll layer up different things. So you'll have a Logic file that you'll see ahead of me here, and you'll notice that I've already done some things. So we're just going to go through how I did it. First of all, let's have a little listen to kind of what I produced. It's a very short clip in a film style, kind of an action film style, like a battle perhaps, intro to that type of thing. Not really focused on the style of the music here. We need to focus really on the way I've put it together. That's what we're going to look at. So as we start off, you'll have a little listen to this. Particularly listen to the percussion here. So you can hear the percussion is quite impressive. If the recording is good quality through speakers, if you heard that through speakers, you'd notice that it was a very good quality. How have I done it? How have I achieved it with just 3 percussion tracks? Well, let's go first of all through a few little things. One of the big mistakes that people sometimes make, students of composition make, is they think drums, pick a drum kit, like a rock drum kit. Why would you pick a rock drum kit or a pop drum kit? For film music, to get really good percussion sounds. If you actually have a listen to the soundtracks that you're trying to emulate, trying to copy, they're not drum kits. You don't hear a nice little hi-hat rhythm, a nice little kick drum and snare drum. It doesn't work like that. So we need to really think more percussion. So you notice what I've done is I've got here the Asian kit. I've set that up in Logic. The Indian and Middle Eastern kit and the African kit. There's also a Chinese kit. There's also a Latin kit. There's quite a few different types of kits. Have an explore around the features under percussion in Logic and try searching over here, look in the search bar, and try to actually find some really good kits. And I've got here the Asian kit, as I say, Middle Eastern kit and African kit, and each key on the keyboard has a different percussion sound. So you've got a mass of different timbres at your disposal here. So let's go first of all and have a look, shall we, at what I did. I've basically done a very simple rhythm. The Asian kit will solo the Asian kit rhythm. And notice what I've done. I've built up, look at the score here. I've built up a very simple layer. Notice the rhythm here. Ba 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 ba. Da 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 da. It's just a very simple rhythm there, and that just kind of loops. So da 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 da. Just a nice little simple rhythm. Why does it sound so big, so huge? It's one of the problems that students will always ask me. How, sir, do you make things sound big and huge? Well, the reason I've managed to do that is I've used 2 drums. Notice this timbre and this timbre. So 2 timbres together to form a thicker sound. Also, I've used reverb very cleverly. So if we click this kit here and notice the reverb, the channel here, you'll notice 2 things called buses. Bus 1, bus 2. If you hover your mouse over bus 1, it shows you a small room reverb, a snare chamber. And then over here, this one, it says that it's a large hall reverb. And I really like to use large reverbs to get big sounding drums. So what I've done there is I've just increased the bus of that large reverb. Now if you haven't got that preset on your other kits, it's very dodgy, because what you want to do is on all your kits, on all your channels that you're going to play percussion on, you want the same reverb. Why is that? Well, it means that you're going to have all of your drum sounds sounding like they're in one space. I mean, if you've got one drum sound sounding like it's in a bathroom and a one drum sound sounding like it's in the Grand Canyon, it ain't going to mix well, is it? So what we're going to need to do is get everything in the same space. So how you do that is you make sure that you know how to navigate the mixer. So if we go up here to the window tab, and we have a little down, it says open mixer. You can use command 2 to do this. So you go to the mixer, and you'll notice all your channel strips But what will happen is you've got a couple of what's called auxiliary channel strips. And these are here, look. At the end, at the right-hand side, oh, I've just got a text message. I knew it was popular, but 4 messages. Wow, sorry. Just distracting me. I'm going to put that over there because it just distracts me when I have so many messages. So over here, look, on the right, we have all these tracks. You can see the kits. But on the right-hand side, you've got these preset reverbs that get set up. And if you notice up the channel on these presets, you'll have Space Designer, Space D. That is your reverb unit. That is the effect that creates the reverb sound. You know, this one is short ambience. This track is Hansa Studio. This one is called Prince Hall 1, which was the large reverb we're using. There's all different reverbs. Notice this reverb that we've used goes to bus 2 here on the send. This is called a send. And we can select that in there and we can send it to any bus. Go down to bus. At the minute it's bus 2, but you can have any of the buses. And to try to keep this simple, what a bus does is send it to a certain channel, which you can then add that bus, that channel, on each track that you're using. So if you go over here to the Asian kit, for instance, we've got soloed, you notice the little sends and the bus here. You click in there, bus 2, and I've added some reverb, look, from bus 2. So that is adding reverb from this channel, because this says bus 2 here, look. So I'm adding reverb from here. Okay. So, we've got reverb added. Now what we want to do is on all the channels on the Indian kit, look, bus 2 is added. And on the channel 3 on the African kit, bus 2 is added. So I've got the same bus, the same reverb on every channel. If you don't like the reverb, you can change the reverb here. Double click, bus 2, look, channel. Double click. What comes up? There's the reverb. And I can select here, instead of Prince Hall 1 reverb, which it's saying, I'm going to click it there and I can change a different reverb to large spaces, medium spaces, small spaces, whatever. Okay. There'll be another tutorial specifically on reverb later in the year. But I can change my reverbs there. So to sum up, use the mixer. Make sure that you've got a reverb that you're bussing out onto all the channels you're using, just the one. And another little tip is then to get rid of the reverbs that perhaps are put on each individual channel. So if you look at this, look, channel 1, Asian kit, channel 2, Indian kit, so on. Sometimes here you have these extra reverbs and they'll appear, another Space Designer, on the individual tracks. Get rid of them. If you want to get rid of something, you just click the outside and just go no plugin and just get rid of the reverbs, so you're only using the same one. We'll close the mixer. And now we've done that little layer. Let's check this second layer out. So this one is the next layer. Look what I've done here. Another separate sound. So I'm layering 2 percussion sounds together now. Different rhythm. Little ostinato. You can come up with something like that. I've made sure I've quantized these to 16th notes. So I've put them together with quite a lot of this large reverb on. And I've also balanced volume. So in that first kit, Asian kit, a large drum, big sounding bass rhythm, bass drum. I've made that quieter. And I've made this lighter sound higher in the mix, louder in the mix by using the volume control. When we mix them together, they form a nice blend. Man, it sounds so good. It sounds like Zimmer himself in action. If you don't know who Zimmer is, find out who Hans Zimmer is. True master of percussion writing in the film world. I've done another kit, an African kit here. And I've also added this in. If I solo this and show you what this sound is. This is using a cowbell. Nice little sound. I'll do that again because you couldn't see it on the score down the bottom. Here we go, cowbell. And I've got this little... Cool. Now you know I'm doing that. You might be having a laugh how I'm doing that. But you know that's how you do it. If you want to write drums, get into it. Imagine the rhythms. So I'll play them on the desk. I'll play the drums like that. Then I transfer that to the keyboard. And I try and get the rhythms, and I practice those with the click track before I even record it. So these don't just come out of nowhere. I've listened to tracks, I've used tracks. I think that track, I'm going to copy that rhythm. For instance, that second rhythm, this one here, from the Indian kit, I took that from a Harry Gregson Williams track, Mombasa, I believe it's called. Or was that David Arnold track on Casino Royale? I took that from Casino Royale, maybe Inception as well. Whatever, I've listened to soundtracks and I've actually copied a rhythm. I really like this rhythm. And I thought, that's a nice rhythm. I'll practice that with a click track, I'll practice it, and I'll use it in my own composition. Stealing ideas, no problem. I like to call it recycling. It's not stealing, recycling. Globally responsible. Globally responsible composition. Now then, I play them all together, and what do I get? Because I've balanced them, I'm also going to use the pan, put some left, put some of the drums right, so it spreads it out over the stereo placement across your hearing. I've done different volume changes, I've added reverb. I could even layer it, as in I could double it up. Here's one last trick. I'm going to copy the Asian kit, Command C. I'm going to now Command D, duplicate the track. And I'm going to copy that in, Command V. So I've just copied that to there. And this is genius. I'm now going to just zoom this out slightly, stretch it out. And I'm going to go in and have a look at the notes in this piano grid. So there it is. I'm going to grab all the notes on this second performance of it, the copy. And I'm going to zoom out, move my face from there. Zoom out so I can really see the notes. And see, I've stretched it out. I'm now going to make, I've selected them all, just a slight adjustment. I'm just going to move it very slightly out of sync with the grid line. Can you see that? What that's going to do is it's going to make a really thick sounding drum. You've got two things happening at the same time, the same effects on, but one is going to be just slightly, minusculely moved out of sync. You won't perceive it out of time because I've only moved it a tiny amount, but it'll just thicken the sound of that drum sound. So it'll just sound blinking awesome. So here we go. Look at the sound, it's massive. Yeah, it's almost as massive as my head. And when you want things that big, you really do want to enjoy that sound. That's how you make big percussion, guys. You got to experiment. You're not going to be able to compose like me overnight. I've had many years of experience doing it. But practice combining different layers, different ostinatos, using the quantize, using the balance, using the reverbs. You'll do a good job. Get all your drum compositions to me. Send them my way. I will assess them. And one day, you'll be as good as the master.